We are here at the Hook'em House 2025 South by Southwest, speaking with
Nick Shuley.
Nick, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. So, Hook'em House, South by, how are you feeling right now?
Man, I'm feeling good. It's nice to because I work a lot in music and in sports, and it's a nice kind of bringing the two worlds together, and it brings one of my biggest loves together, which is the University of Texas, along with kind of the Austin music scene, etc. So it's a great thing.
Awesome. So we're here at South by. What are you most looking forward to in this year's festival edition?
Man, I'm a big music dork, so I'm looking forward to a lot of the the music activations. There's a really cool thing called the SoCo Stomp over at Seaboys, Samsville at Samstown Point, Luck Reunion. There's a ton of just great shows, great artists in town, and then also this part of the conference I love too because it's sports, and the Hook'em House is one of the best, and it kind of marries up music and sports. We got Shaky Graves here. You got we're going to be doing the podcast with Colt McCoy and a bunch of football related things. So it kind of brings all the worlds together.
Right on. So we were talking about your podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Texas University, Third and Longhorn. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Third and Longhorn came about from, I'm friends with a bunch of the former players and just happened to hear them chatting about, football and talking about the last week's game. And I was like, man, I know everybody says this, but you guys need a podcast. And they responded, they're like, yeah, we're down. That sounds cool. And but only if you run it. I was like, I'm happy to run it. And they're like, no, you're going to actually drive it and be on it. And I was like, well, I'm not used to being on that side of the camera, so no. But then they basically said they wouldn't do it unless I kind of, did it too. So we, from there, we just started putting out episodes, took off, and it's become a really cool thing that during the season we just talk about the games, and then after the season we interview a lot of the current players, former players, and some of the other staff members and coaches from whether it's football or other sports at the University of Texas.
I think it's fascinating for podcasters that are out there, sports enthusiasts, but no matter what their team is, if it's Giants or Raiders or Eagles or what have you. Tell me a little bit about your journey and how you were able to grow as an outlet to go to where you are today.
Yeah, well, we just tried to keep it as authentic as possible. We wanted it to feel like a high-end podcast. We wanted it to be well-produced. We just tried to make something that people care about, and we tried to make something that we care about. And honestly, the original iteration of it came from the NIL side, and how can we let people get to know the amazing personalities on the current team? And because sponsorship and endorsements, that's connection, right? You want to know. It's easy to get to figure out who wants to sponsor Arch Manning on Texas just because he's got a little bit of a following. But when you're offensive lineman number 8, you're trying to figure out how you're going to make money on NIL, how you're going to grow your persona, etc. And if people can't get to know you, then it makes it hard for them to want to sponsor you. So what we wanted to do was create profiles on all of the players and give them a chance to kind of have a platform, figure out what they like, what they're into, and take it a little bit off the field as opposed to making it all football related.
Awesome. And you hit on something that's super interesting. We are a New York-based outlet, and some of our viewers are New York Giants fans. We're talking about a Manning. We're talking about Arch Manning and that. So let's get a take on that. Do you think that Arch Manning would have any future with the Giants or the Colts being a Manning? You could look Peyton, you could look Eli. What do you think on it?
Man, I think. Well, first off, Arch is an absolutely incredible. Just the way he carries himself. For all the pressure and all the things going on around him. Handles himself so pro, and obviously it helps to have a family who's kind of been there, done that.
Oh, yeah.
I think wherever Arch goes, he's going to be a pretty big success. He's a great talent. We got to let the kid really play a game first before we kind of anoint him. But I have a pretty solid feeling he's going to do just fine. And it'd be interesting for him to to go to the Giants and follow in his uncle's footsteps, or go to the Colts and follow in his uncle's footsteps. So Who knows?
Yeah, that's like football royalty without even throwing a pass, like you said. I think it's awesome. That name is legendary in football history. Okay, so
for the Giants' sake, though, you kind of hope they don't get Arch, because that means that they'll probably be high in the draft order and probably don't want to be there.
Well, with what we've seen in the last few seasons, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, you draft Daniel Jones, you give away Saquon Barkley. Does ownership know what they're doing? I don't know.
The co-producer of the show with me is he's from Queens, huge Giants fan, so we definitely talk a lot of Giants.
Yeah, we're always looking forward to a better season after it's the season that we had. Only the future can tell, but we're here in Austin for South by Southwest. Hook'em House, what are you most excited for panel-wise coming up here at Hook'em House?
At Hook'em House, and there's actually a really cool panel happening at 3:30 today, which is about the integration of poster art and artificial intelligence. So basically how those two worlds kind of collide, because obviously the poster scene is a very old school scene. It's hand drawn. It's a lot of that. But obviously with the birth of AI, there's kind of the worlds are coming together where a lot of the things are kind of getting mismatched. And so they have the folks from Armadillo World Headquarters, which was a legendary music venue in Austin that gave birth to a lot of the art scene too. They're going to be hosting a panel about this with an AI expert, an old school artist, and then someone who's just like a really cool person in the community. So I'm really looking forward to that panel. But there's a ton of great panels going on right behind me. I'm looking forward to doing our podcast. That'll be fun, because we get to talk to Colt McCoy, and that'll be pretty cool.
Well, let him know that New York sends our love to Colt McCoy, and we thank him for being a part of our history.
Well, we got Rob Babers as a host on the show too, and he played D-back for the Giants too, so I'm sure he'll have some vested interest in this.
Awesome. Well, we hope our viewers are able to check out 3rd and Longhorn, and here we are at the Hook'em House here at 2025 South by Southwest. Thank you so much for stopping by to talk about everything.
Thanks for having us.